Hi guys, this is Liver here, and today I wanted to help the 3 remaining players who still haven't quit Diablo 4 with some information about the new currencies that were introduced in Season 3. Now, when I started playing the new season, I kind of felt overwhelmed with all these new and different types of currencies, pearls, stones, wardings, and so on, so I thought it would be a good idea to make a video explaining where each of them come from, what they are used for, and some general information about them. Then, just to make the situation even more confusing, in a hotfix on the 26th of January, they added an additional currency because test servers are totally not needed, and the devs definitely tested the systems very thoroughly during development. Anyway, this guide will include that new currency too, so you're gonna be as up to date as possible. Until the next hotfix, of course. Let's go! Starting with the basics, we have shattered stones. These are the most common out of all new currencies. They drop like candy from basically any seasonal mob in the overworld and in the vaults. In addition, when you loot a tuning or governing stone that you've already maxed out, you also get a large number of these shattered stones instead. As expected from a basic currency, they are quite versatile. They are needed to enter the Uber Malphas dungeon, but you can use shattered stones to also craft a container with 50 murmuring obols, or another with 2 random tuning or governing stones. They are needed to summon heralds of Malphas at the igneous altars in the seasonal areas too. In general, there shouldn't be any shortage of these stones, and even though they are needed for fighting the Uber boss and summoning heralds, it's usually the other materials that are going to limit you in those activities. Next up, we have the Pearls of Warding. These come from killing heralds of Malphas in the overworld, and they can also be found in vaults. In World Tier 4, you get 2 pearls in the free completion chest at the end of a vault, and, since the hotfix, you also get 2 of them from the chest that spawns after you finish the 30-second survival gauntlet in the second to last room of the vault. You can also get some pearls from the gauntlet rooms of the Uber boss's dungeon, 2 for each wing. Pearls of Warding have only one but very important use. They provide you with the Zultun's warding buff when you click on the pedestal at the beginning of any vault, including the dungeon of Uber Malphas. After the hotfix, each click on the pedestal exchanges one of your pearls for 10 Zultun's wardings. These are then used to open chests at the end of vaults, as well as chests after each wing at the end of Uber Malphas' dungeon. You also lose a stack of Zultun's warding if you get hit by a trap in a vault, including some of the trap attacks during the Uber Malphas fight. Before the hotfix, Pearls of Warding only gave 3 sacks of Zultun's warding, and they were also required to get into the Uber boss's dungeon. With the changes in the hotfix, you acquire more Pearls of Warding during a vault run than the amount that you spend, therefore you should be able to open every single chest in any vault without having to actually farm pearls from heralds. Next up, we have Elemental Cores. They come from disabling different kinds of obelisks in the seasonal areas. The obelisks only drop 1 core each when disabled, however, the cores only have one purpose, so you don't need that many of them. Players can use elemental cores to summon heralds of Malphas at the voltaic braziers in seasonal outdoor areas. Besides cores, shattered stones are also required for this process, but as I previously mentioned, shattered stones are much easier to come by, so elemental cores are going to limit the number of heralds that you can summon. And lastly, the Igneous Cores are the currency that were added in the hotfix on the 26th of January. They come from either the Heralds of Malphas, summoned at the voltaic braziers in the outdoor areas, or the Sons of Malphas, which are kind of mini-bosses similar to the Butcher that can sometimes be found in vaults. Sons of Malphas are guaranteed to drop an Igneous Core, while Heralds only have around a 50% chance to drop them. In terms of usage, Igneous Cores are used alongside Shattered Stones in order to enter Uber Malphas' dungeon. You need 7 of them to open the doorway each time. Getting 7 Igneous Cores is the limiting factor to farming Uber Malphas over and over again, so these are highly desirable by players who want to get their hands on the unique turning stones dropped by Malphas. And that's it. I hope I managed to provide some useful info on the types of currencies you can get your hands on while playing Season 3. Let me know in the comments if I missed something, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe for more. Thanks.